What up, Corner Crew? Welcome back to the Hip Hop Happy Hour podcast. I am your host, as always, Brad Bailey. Want to give a shout out to y'all, man. Thank you for joining us. First episode 2024. You know how we do. We got a lot of good shit coming up for you this month, so stay tuned. But you already know how we do. We're going to bring up our guest representing Huntington, Long Island, by Jamaica, Queens, representing New York City, Jus-P.
Nice. You threw Huntington in there. Salute.
Yes,
Just
sir.
Menace, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show, bro. It's been a minute. We've been playing this for a while, so good. We finally got around to it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact, yo.
Hell yeah. But I know you've watched the show before, so you know how we kind of do what we do. For those that don't know who you are, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you're all about.
Man, I'm Jus-P. That's short for Justice and Power. You know what I'm saying? The Black Menace is my superhero, my supervillain name. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Huntington, Long Island, and Jamaica, Queens. I'm born and raised in Huntington, Long Island. Then I moved to Queens as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? And then just been running around the city doing what I do. You know what I mean? I've been in the hip hop game for a while, for a long time. You know what I'm saying? My reach is vast. You know what I'm saying? But really, I'm just here to add on to the culture and share my experiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Tell us what it was like coming up for you in Huntington, Long Island.
Oh man, I mean, Huntington is like it's small and kind of segregated, even though the people, like, everybody gets along, but it's segregated where certain parts is just really bad, and certain part you can cross the street a little while up and it's really nice. When you go to high school, those people connect, so you'll get different experiences. But when you go home, it's different. You know what I mean? It's not like I've been living in the city since 19, and it's a lot of people. It's the same type of thing, but it's more frequent, and so certain things happen. Like where I'm from in Huntington, when there's beef, these people beef for years. You're gonna see them at high school football games. You know what I mean? There's only certain places you can go, so you're gonna run into them. So it's a different type of thing. Whereas in the city, you can get into something and never see that person again. You just don't got to go there. The store is here, and that's that. You know what I mean? You can never see that person again. You can't really do that in Huntington. So and it's definitely like my mother is born in Huntington. My grandfather, generations, like half of the town is my family. You know what I mean? Nam Nitty is my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Ledger from the back block gang is my cousin. You know what I mean? We grew up together. So it's like it's real close knit. So certain things you learn. And when you take that, like at first I left Huntington and went to Atlanta, and I took that mentality down there. And it's almost the same thing, kind of in like southern places, small towns, where their mentality is something different. You know what I mean? Also, but when I came back, I moved to Brooklyn for a minute, then I moved to Jamaica and been out there ever since. You know what I'm saying? So like I just take all of that and use it when I navigate the streets. You know what I'm saying? I might have a certain attitude of arrogance because like I'm from Huntington, and Huntington is like, in Long Island, it's something different. When you say you're from Huntington, people look at you a certain way. There's certain places about Long Island where it's worldwide known, and it's a certain type of attitude. So I just take that with me everywhere I go. You know what I mean? And add on.
So how did you use those different experiences growing up in your music?
Oh man, I mean, like my mother, my father, my younger brother, a lot of my family are musically inclined. You can see how that trickled to Nam and Prez, Ledger, what we call him Prez growing up. But as far as me, like we grew up in the church. My mother grew up in the church. That's like a tradition on her side. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather has one of the oldest church out there. So my family's all musically inclined, and I'm into a lot of different music. But when I chose hip hop as my medium or vehicle, I take everything. I take whatever influences me as far as musically, and I write that down. Something I do that I learned back then is I just live life, and then when it's time, I sit down. You know what I'm saying? If bars come to me, I'll write that down. But most times, I just live life. A lot of my songs, almost everything, is like stuff that I want people to come back. They're like a lot of inside jokes. So I appreciate my experiences. I lived a lot of different circles and met a lot of different people. And there's a lot of people that don't know me at all for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Know me for many different reasons. But I take all of that and try to put that in the music, but not so much where it's like I make it hip hop. So you might not, it might sound like a bar or a crazy punchline or just a or whatever, a joke, but it'd be real. You know what I'm saying? If that person heard that, they could be like, yo, I heard what you're saying. Also, it's stuff for like my son, you know what I'm saying, or my wife or girlfriend after I pass, you know what I mean? So my whole life, I just write it down, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, it's music's that art form that's so closely connected with everyday life. I think,
Right.
yeah, more than anything else, more than film, more than any other type of art medium. Music has that connection. It doesn't matter if it's hip hop, if it's rock music, or whatever you're into, because you're going to connect with something.
Definitely, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, give us your influences growing up.
Uh, um, it sounds crazy. Besides like gospel music as a kid, something I never even shared with people or even remembered to say until just now. You asking this question. Growing up, yo, we spent like 3 days a week in church. Yo, sometimes all day Sunday. I once lived next door to the church we were going to, so it was like a constant thing. I couldn't there was no like regular music or secular music, no type of hip hop. Might have been a little R&B. My earliest recall is like going to like Nam's house or Ledger's house, and seeing like Public Enemy or whatever they're into. But really, I was kind of into gospel music, and then my father left early, but he was really into rock. He was really into like Prince and Aerosmith and things like that. So I listened to all of that. You know what I'm saying? And as far as hip hop, like I didn't get into hip hop until like '93. I remember one day I went to church and seen a girl with the Wu-Tang tape. And then I got it from I think Ledger, you know what I'm saying? And then I just went on from there. And then once like the earliest influence would be Wu-Tang, particularly Method Man, because I can remember just writing rhymes to like Bring the Pain or the entire Wu-Tang album, just writing rhymes and going over them over and over. But a lot of influences, yo. Sometimes now as an adult or as like an MC professionally, I listen to everybody and what they got to say. Some people, like just before we got here, I'm watching a bunch of Smack URL battles. You know what I'm saying? So I take influences from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I sit and listen to rock. Don't even worry about nothing else. Just listen to whatever I feel like. You know what I mean? So I draw from anybody. Wu Tang, Nirvana, REM is pretty dope. A bit Notorious Big, Biggie Smalls. Tupac was a major influence on me growing up and developing my style. Not so much MC wise, but just as an artist. You know what I'm saying? But then I'll listen to bachata for 2 hours straight. I'll listen to straight Spanish music. You know what I'm saying? And imagine whatever. So I'm pretty vast with the influence. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Now, growing up in such a like church going household, what did your parents say when you started rapping?
Oh man, I ain't had parents since I was 15. The crazy part is, once I turned 15, I just started wilding. Some people say jumped off the porch. My mother got sick with renal failure
Yeah,
and died when I was 20, but she stopped. Like I think my dad kind of knew, he knows now, and he kind of knew back then that I was writing. But when I started, it wasn't. It was more for me. You know what I'm saying? It was like once I got to a certain level, then I started to debut it with my friends and things like that. A crazy story before I even get to that. Like just to answer that, like my mom, none of that. You know what I'm saying? None of that. When she was alive and I'm 15, I had a restraining order from the house. I couldn't go home. I wasn't as bad, you know what I'm saying? But I just was trying to be out there, you know what I'm saying? I got into gang culture real early, you know what I'm saying? So that was that. So she didn't really know any of that. You know what I'm saying? And she died when I was pretty young. You know what I'm saying? The crazy thing that started, I went to high school with a dude named RJ Payne the rapper. He lived in our neighborhood for a couple of years, and he was how he sounds now. Then, you know what I'm saying? This is early 90s, mid 90s, and there were people that were rapping in our neighborhood, and he would battle everybody. and he was crazy with it. So one day we went to the school. The high school was across the street where he was living at the time. I went to his house, and he's just rapping for me. I went home and tried it, started rhyming. I went back to his crib a day later or so, rapped what I wrote. He laughed at me. I went back, you know what I'm saying, and just been rocking ever since. I don't remember if I went back to give him like an ill rhyme. I don't know, because I can't. He moved out. He moved to Philly and became Rain Man, RG Payne, things like that. But I do remember him just like, oh, you rapping now? And straight laugh, you know what I'm saying? But my parents had no idea about that. My dad knows now, and he's pretty. My dad was not trying to do, but he wanted to do what I'm doing, which is, you know what I'm saying, just pursue that dream. My mom was a organist in the church, but my dad wanted to do that. So he kind of like, he's real happy now. You know what I'm saying? He'll send me things about stuff I already know, like publishing or streams or whatever. But he's pretty happy now. You know what I'm saying? And also, he wants to do whatever he wants to do. I think he wants to do something in like podcasting or radio. So if nothing else, you know what I mean, that was good to re-inspire him. But back then they had no idea. I was just a problem child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel it. I think a lot of us were problem children. A lot of us '90s babies. We had no real direction.
Yeah,
We were the last generation of latchkey kids that were just said go outside and don't cause no trouble. But what we're
yeah.
doing outside causing trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone else, like the whole neighborhood took care of me. Like even when my mom was around, I'd be at my friend's house all the time. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But then my mom got put in a nursing home before when I was in high school. So we spent years in high school to the face alone in the house. And that was around the same time. I think I came back because I do remember 11th and 12th grade. I might have had that restraining order, either 10th or 11th. But in the end, when she got put in the home, I remember being in the house and just having all my friends. Once I came back from Atlanta, I was just a different. I was who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that was that. You know what I mean? So I just got with it. And also, what's interesting is that Long Island and Huntington changed. There wasn't gangs when we were coming up. There was all neighborhood cliques. There's neighborhood cliques for generation, but then one person joins one, and then it becomes a thing. I'm part of that. Those people that made it a thing in Long Island. You know what I'm saying? Once MS came, that was it. Everybody had to really be on the square. But yeah, they had no idea. They just knew I was out there. If I didn't come home at a certain time, that was it. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I'm doing whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's good. It's good that you pulled yourself through all that too.
Yeah.
Could have been on the opposite side of that story and dead.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So you
it could have been worse. I've been on the opposite sides. The thing is, my mom particularly, and my dad too, but my mom, I don't know if she knew that she wasn't going to be around or she just didn't have nothing else to contribute. But she told me, she prepared me to live on my own early in the game, cooking, cleaning. And one thing I remember her telling me is, don't nobody want to take care of a grown-ass, able-bodied man. She told me that as a kid, and it made sense, and I live by that. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it for that.
It's crazy how the generations have changed, where these full ass grown, able-bodied men expect someone to take care of nowadays. You know what I mean? That's to me. We because like I said, we come from a different generation. We were the last without the technology. We were the last that we were outside at all times. Even if the street lights came on, sometimes we weren't home. You know, we were making dumb decisions that shaped us to who we are today. So a lot of it, you know, we could look back at as a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. When I tell people that I've been living alone, my bad. What'd you say?
I say even all the bad stuff, we can almost look back as a good thing.
Right. When I tell people that I've been alone since 15, they look at me like it's crazy, and I'd be like, it's years ago, but also that's what had to happen. I mean, like I learned how to live alone early in the game, and I can never take that away. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I could have been a lot worse. Like even like I've been to prison. I've lived all over the place. I've lived with friends, many friends. I've had several apartments, you know what I'm saying, of all studios, duplexes. I've lived alone since You know what I mean? 15, So but I needed that, you know what I'm saying? Some things I could have done better and could have saved time, but a lot of stuff is because of me learning back then. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the way I look at life now, you'll never catch me like doing certain things like I'm not just gonna live off a girl, you know what I'm saying? Or certain things I just won't do, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that, you know what I mean? And
Right.
these are things I talk to my son and my father about. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to ask my father adult questions that I didn't really get back then. You know what I'm saying? And then I take that and talk to my son. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, you bridge that gap.
Right, right, right.
How do you feel like your adversity growing up has shaped you as an artist today?
Um. What's crazy is I was thinking about this ever so often ago, right? Because you see how like an artist or their whole shit will be like coming up, and then their next projects will be about how their life changed since they come up and things like that. And then what do they do after that? You know what I'm saying? But when that pertains to me, I honestly think like right now, right? It's all not all of it, but it's all about the struggles and things I've been through, the lessons, but also keeping it hip hop as far as like entertaining bars and things like that. But I often wonder what would my next projects be if I get to a certain level, another level in life. And I would describe and talk about that. And that's a good thing to ponder. I honestly think I would just describe my life in the most creative way how I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know if I had not been in adversity this whole time, what my raps would be like. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I just might be a super third person commentator on the world. The world is enough to fucking make 1,000 albums and bars and shit like that. So I don't know, but right now in reality, those things are helpful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff I don't really talk about, but being able to just have that option, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on an album with Swab, and I want that project to be more storytelling, and that means more drawing from my life. Ever so often, I might do a storytelling joke or a joint rather. Besides just splashing little personal things in there, I might do a whole joint. You know what I'm saying? I've lived a lot of crazy experiences where you got to be careful with that. On one album, I did live on the Ave, and that's all about me getting into a shootout. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's done in a way where it's not that. But if you listen to it, that's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I just would take all my life and just keep building joints. You know what I'm saying? There's so many places you could take it after. Most artists never get to, you know what I mean, after the struggle or you know what I mean, the life changing stuff. But there's things to do after that. You know what I mean? And things to talk about.
Yeah, you definitely want to use your background, your story to create some sort of content that's going to resonate with people also.
Right, right, right.
That's the thing. A lot of dudes just throw out bars and bars and bars, and it's like, all right, we've heard that. Tell us something. Say
Right,
something.
right, right.
You
And
know,
a
I,
lot of people can't though. A lot of people can't.
mm,
It's weird, but
it is. It is. Your feelings on hip hop today, where we're at. We have a lot of people saying hip hop is dead, and then we have the other side saying that that's a ridiculous statement. We have a lot of different ageism, that sort of thing going on in hip hop. What do you think is the state of hip hop in 2024?
um, my bad, OG. I
What
mean,
do you think?
the underground or the independent scene rather has always been thriving just about since you know what I mean inception. I guess when would you say it started? If you take it from like the raucous era, you know what I'm saying. But there's always been a thriving, you know what I mean, independent scene. As far as what it is right now, as far as the independent or underground, it's crazy because it's more visible, almost mainstream, but it's still kind of underground. It's strange. You know what I'm saying? You might be doing the same underground outlets, but now more people are paying attention to it in a different way. You might never know. So I'm with that. I'm with the different outlets that it takes for that are available to an independent artist. What I'm not with is I'm not with people not calling out bullshit. I'm not with like a certain standard. I'm not with everyone doing what is the move right now, and then it's a super sub industry of what's popping right now. Even though what's popping right now, quote unquote, Griselda type shit is dope. You know what I'm saying? It's fire, but I'm not with the closest. You know what I'm saying? It's almost I'm not with all that. You know what I mean? I'm not with people copying that sound just to be because that's what it is. I'm not with the influencers or people that hold the keys, like the blogs or the DJs. I'm not with them only looking for that and only playing that. I'm also not with people that have outlets only catering to their friends. You know what I'm saying? There's one DJ and his whole playlist be damn near like I'm not saying they're nobody, but it has to be whoever you and you could put whoever you want on there, but if you're for the people, be for the people. You know what I'm saying? When he has guests on there, it'd be someone that hasn't dropped an album out of nowhere. You just put them on there, yo, instead of being currently with the times. And then when I speak to these people, I get funny answers and I let it go because I have a job. You know what I'm saying? I have a day job. And on the one hand, that allows me the freedom to be like, you know what, I'll blow this whole thing up right now, you know what I'm saying, and go back to work. On the other
Oh, I think we lost him. Uh-oh. I think we may have lost him. His feed just dropped. I don't know if y'all can still hear me. I think we're still rolling. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I'm sorry for the little quick technical difficulty. We're gonna try to get him back in 1 second.
oh, you see me?
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Yeah, you dropped for a quick second. It's all
I
good.
was about to sign out and sign back in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. That's the weather too. We got the big storm coming up here, so
Where you at, Boston?
I'm in Rhode Island actually, right outside
Rhode
Boston.
Island. Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Yo,
like
that's like how long does it take? I've seen you in New York. How long does it take you to get out there
it
to
takes us
Brooklyn?
like if there's the traffic's okay, it's like 3.5 hours.
That's
But
not bad.
once you hit the bridge, man, once you hit the bridge from going to Connecticut into New York, that's when you hit that traffic. We sat on the bridge once for almost an hour, which is crazy. Yeah, we love coming out there. We love coming out there. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to
This is
Dad.
nice,
Shout out
bro.
to Tom. Shout out to Honey. Shout out to all six, man. Shout out to all.
I like that you come out here. Salute to you. You know what I'm saying? I've never been in Rhode Island. I need to go out there just to see the world, yo. But you know what I mean? Is it how was it when you first came to New York? Was it crazy looking to you? Do you see that much people? Do you see a lot of crazy shit? I'm sure you do.
I've been to New York as a young child too. Like my father used to be a truck driver, so I'm used to like being all over the country. But
Right, right.
last year when Seed had the show, that was my first time in quite a few years, almost since 9/11, and
Mm,
changed, man. It's very different than what like you hear about gentrification and that sort of thing on TV, but until you actually go down there and you see it, it's wild, man. Like I look at the bodegas and you look above it and you can see that there's these $2,000-3,000 apartments above these bodegas, which is wild to me. Wild.
you see where the show is at? Secret Pour,
Yep.
right? When I
Yep.
left Huntington, the first place I moved was a block over Secret Pour. The train I used to. That was what I had to take. That whole neighborhood. That it was way different. This was in 2002, I want to say 2002, and it was just different. They had a blackout, and there was just looting and people going crazy. You used to get off the train, like you still see certain things. That's where you see like the addicts, but it used to be way more. The whole from that block to all the way the next trains. That's like 4 blocks up, and it's just nothing but zombie land and fucking drug dealers, yo, and you don't see none of that. You see small remnants, but on the majority, those same stores change just like that. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Even on the next train station at Myrtle, it's almost completely different. You know what I'm saying? It's bugged out. It's cool because it kind of changes the neighborhood. It's not cool because it raises prices and forces people closer to like poor people got to be somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So what do we do on the street? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or we're just gonna go into one area. You know what I'm saying? Which is not what you want to do, and that's a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the neighborhood, it's definitely different. You know what I'm saying? Gentrification is a strange thing. It has its benefits, just not to the people so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really only benefits the corporations that are building,
Right.
really, because
Right.
because it pushes everyone out, because inflates that dollar, and rent's wild.
Oh my God.
Bro, I went and got an iced coffee over there, and that shit was like $6. I'm like, you gotta be crazy. Yeah, and
Right.
we complain around here because it's like three and change, and we're like, oh my god, you guys raise the price 10 cents. But then you go into a city like New York, or you go to somewhere like LA,
Mm-hmm.
paying triple prices on some of the everyday things, and that's just wild to me that people can get away with doing something like that.
And they go borough to borough. They had the Manhattan, and now it's Brooklyn, and now they're moving to Queens. Almost in Brooklyn, I think like Brownsville is still where it's what it is. And certain parts of like Crown Heights and not even Bed-Stuy so much. Certain parts of Bed-Stuy, but that's really it. Maybe Coney Island, not so much. And Brooklyn is big, but it's almost like Manhattan, just about, just about. And now Queens. So for a person like me, I'm trying to move to Queens. I live in the Bronx right now. I'm trying to move back to Queens, and all affordable apartments are in the Bronx because that's like the last area that they're going to come to and renovate. You know what I'm saying? The Bronx is amazingly hood. You know what I'm saying? The best parts is the worst parts somewhere else. Yeah, the Bronx is so, but there are apartments everywhere. But I want to live back in my kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Jamaica, Queens, where I can just, I'm myself everywhere, but my son's out there. You know what I mean? So I want to be closer to family. You know what I'm saying? I also, it does, it's whack where like, yo, I get up and take the train. It's 2 hours to Jamaica, 2 hours to get there, 2 hours to get back, yo. Every time, like I go get the food, you know what I'm saying? People come see me, but whenever I leave, it's somewhere far, 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I need to get out the Bronx, yo. You know what I'm saying? But I was in prison, yo, you know what I'm saying, for a minute. I would have lived anywhere. I lived in China. Just, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I came home, I took the first apartment that I could afford, yo. But yeah, man, New York is hard, yo. New York is hard. The same I pay here, my friend's mortgage in Jersey or somewhere else is, you know what I mean? They have like crazy big houses. And I
Right.
pay that money in rent, you know what I'm saying? For like,
It's wild.
it's
Everywhere. It's crazy.
yeah.
I don't see how we can sustain a normal everyday like lifestyle with the way things are going. Honestly, I don't understand. And everyone's paycheck, no one's paycheck's going up,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
everything else around you is going up. So that's the thing. We got to kind of, the wage gap needs to kind of
Yeah.
get tight around here. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna get worse this year, yo. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little nervous, but I'm here for
Yeah, election year. You know how it goes.
it.
Election years are always the tight ones, and if it ends up being crazy boy again, who
That's a fact.
knows what the hell will happen in come November? It's going to be a wild year. Hopefully, it'll be a great year for everybody, though. Out there doing their thing. I want to give a shout out to all of y'all. Keep
Right,
keep
right, right.
grinding. Keep making that music for us to listen to. Us to
Oh
consume.
yeah, that's what we're
Without
here
y'all,
for.
without y'all, we wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you, yo, for even listening. You know what I'm saying? What you be doing is dope, yo. I appreciate you, man.
Thank
Don't
you.
nobody tell you. I see that. Thank you.
We're trying, man. We're trying. We got a lot of good shit coming up this month too. But
That's what's up.
before we wrap it up for the night, I want you to tell us where we can find you, what you got going on musically, what
Oh
shows you
man.
coming up. Let us know everything we got.
Well, my name is Jus-P the Black Menace. You can Google that. You know what I'm saying? I come right up. Spotify, Jus-P. Instagram is Jus-P100. But again, you can Google that in any platform or any way you choose. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to drop something called Street Corner Business Deals. And this album has production from the Beat Miners. It has my son, DJ Bless One, on there with the beats. Nam Nitty's on there with I think 3 joints producing. I got my cousin Ledger, you know what I'm saying? He's on there with the features. Rex is on there, Ren Thomas. I'm trying to see if I can get this joint in with Elder Sensei before. And then but that's coming. Me and Bo Fat got a joint called Prodigal New York. That's almost done. I'm working on the Swab album, boy, and it's insane because what I want to do, I just want to, you know what I mean, get into that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to start be more storytelling. So I'm pretty excited working on that. Shout out to the Zoo, Brooklyn Zoo. Shout out to my Low Life family. Chamber music. We got a lot, like I be so busy that I don't even like there's a lot coming up with like the Brooklyn Zoo Chamber Music family, shout out to the Zoo, the whole Zoo Mafia, you know what I'm saying? So we got me and G Clef from Chamber Music got a real dope album. I got Buddha Monk on there, I got Solomon Childs, I got my son Judah Priest on there, I got Realio Sparkswell on there, Fest Taylor's on there, my man John Murdoch and what's his man's name, son? The two of them from Lost Children of Babylon is on there, and it's dope. Skinny Bones, the Godfather, he's on there, and we got some work. As far as my Low Life family, me and Louis the Fourth, you know what I'm saying, for Mega, we got an album together, and it's 2 L's make a W. So the features are gonna be Louis the Fourth is almost like me, whereas he was introduced through like the whole Papa Wu Chamber. I came into the game with Brooklyn Zoo and Chamber Music a long time ago, you know what I'm saying? So I knew me and Louis was almost in the same circles basically as far as Papa Wu and the Zoo, but we're both Low Life, you know what I'm saying, right now. So we're kind of combining those together. 2 L's make a W, take one, take all. And the features is going to be all like Wu fam and Low Life fam, you know what I'm saying? DV Alias Christ is on there. We got a joint with Solomon Child, Shabam Sadiq, a whole bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? And also, me and GS Advanced, we just get to work, and we get so whatever we doing is like I could do nothing. All these are like outside projects, but me and GS Advanced would just sit up in the crib and get busy. So we got a lot of work coming. You know what I'm saying? There's a full project produced by him, even though if you pay attention to me, I'm always working with him, whether it's the beats or the rhymes, you know what I'm saying? And he's got albums coming. So, you know what I'm saying? God willing, inshallah, as they say, that I'm alive to get this done. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking, I want to be around, God willing, that as crazy as Trump going to be, I want to see November. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get to even see that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my people's passed last year. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and that's it, Jus-P. Google me. I'm out there, yo. You know what I'm saying? I think I might see you guys in February. I don't know if you're gonna pop out.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there for sure.
Oh, yeah, all right. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Hopefully the weather's good. You know what I mean? Because we're debating if the weather's bad, we're gonna take the train out there. If it's not that bad, we're gonna drive out there. So we're playing it by ear on our travel, but we're definitely gonna be out there February 16th. Cool Table Concert Series Volume 3. Shout out Six Man Entertainment. And again, man, thank you for coming on. You're a very busy man. You got a big 2024 coming up. We're going to be keeping an ear out for you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for representing with us. And yeah, the Hip Hop Happy Hour podcast. We out. Peace.
Right.